Hello, 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 and welcome to my life story from poverty to purpose and prosperity. This is going to be interesting. Ooh. All right, we're good, we're good. All right, waiting on a few people to hop on. Then we're going to get started. What's going on with Instagram here? Hmm. Check in connection. Okay. All right. I still have a little issue on Instagram. Let me just quickly fix that. Okay, we should be good now. Let's. All right. All right. Shucks. All right, we're gonna have to start this over again. All right, give me a quick second. Had a little bit of issue before coming on. All right, so let's do this again. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, great. So we're live. We're live on Instagram, and we're gonna be jumping into a bit of my life story. I'm wearing my shirt again because I love it. It's a prophecy. It's a prophecy. It's a prophecy. Let's fix this thing. Hi. We're ready. All right, we're finally ready. Sort out some technical issues and come on. Hey, Lady Feds. Hey, Keela Welly. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, so we're live on Instagram, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Facebook. All right, so if you know anybody who wants to fast into my business, send the link to them because I love sharing my life story. I love sharing it because it reminds me all the time of where I'm coming from, the journey it took to get to this place, and how excited I am for the rest of my life. Like until death, like I just see a lot of progress happening and I'm just excited for that journey. So I'm going to be sharing a bit of that journey with you. So last week, right, I shared with you part one. And this seems like it's going to be a whole series. The more I think about it, the more I realize that we might go on for a few weeks on this. But last week, I shared a little bit of my journey from birth to the end of college, pretty much the end of college. And I realized it was getting too long. So I said, you know what, let's cut this. But as I was preparing for today and I'm jotting down little tidbits of how I can organize the content, I realized that there are so many lessons there. And somebody last week mentioned that I need to write a book. And like I'm seriously considering it, like looking at the amount of content and the transformation that has taken place. I'm seriously thinking about putting a book together. So you never know, that might happen. So let's see how that goes. But I wanted to focus this time around on the partnership that has enabled me to live the life of my dreams. So a quick recap, if you haven't seen the last video, it's literally the last live I did on my channel, both on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. That's not both, that's three, but hey, who's watching the English here? So on all three platforms, it's the last extended video that I did. It's about 30 minutes long. And the title of it is From Poverty to Purpose and Prosperity, and part one. So this is part two. And based on the notes that I have in front of me, I don't know how long this is going to last, but let's see. But as I was preparing, I thought about sharing with you the partnership that was able to give me the dream life that I have right now. And before I jump into that, I really want to clarify exactly what I mean when I say dream life. Because a lot of people, when they hear the term dream life, when you hear the term dream life, you might be thinking about private jets, expensive cars, flying out to different cities every week or so, right? Having your personal chauffeur, a nanny, a babysitter, a housekeeper, and just having everything spick and span and everything just sparkling clean and nice, and you're living the life of luxury. That dream is completely okay. Get it? But when I was 16 years old, that was not what I had in mind. Like, my dream has changed since. My dream continues to evolve as I grow through life. But at 16, I had a dream. And the dream was not necessarily the luxury life, the gold jewelry, the nanny, the private jets, traveling all over the world. I had a very simple dream. And the dream consisted of a few things. Let me share those with you. The dream consisted of owning my own home. That was a dream. Because for 30 plus years, my mom has been building her home, and we never really had a completed home. Like, that's what we're working on right now. But we started out with a one room. It was supposed to be a two-bedroom, one bathroom, living, dining, kitchen, typical Jamaican home. That's what we started out with, and it took us 30 plus years to actually get it together. But in addition to that, we started out with an outside toilet. So we didn't have a bathroom inside. There was no flush. We were just outside. We started out with a pit toilet, and we would go outside in the cold, cold, cold. Like, imagine 5 a.m. in the morning, getting up to take a shower in a 3x3 or maybe 3x4 zinc contained shower on the outside with a bucket and a basin and a rag and a soap. Like, that was our bathroom for many, many years before we actually was able to construct something inside that we could use. And so I've always dreamed of having a home, not just a house, but a home. And even today, I am obsessed with just keeping my home together. Like, I cuss everybody when they don't put back things where they belong, because I just have this feeling of homeliness that I want to wake up to and come home to every single day. And so that was a part of the dream. The dream was just to have a home, not just a building that you live in and you sleep in, but to have an actual home that felt like home and felt well. Like, I really long to get home. I feel good when I come home. I'm not miserable because something is not working, or this doesn't look the way I want it to, or this space is not big enough. Like, I really dream of having a home. So that was a part of the dream. The other dream was to find love. And I kind of have to split that in two, because growing up, I wouldn't say that I didn't know what love was, but my family is not the lovey-dovey type. And we don't go around hugging each other and telling you, oh, I love you, and expressing emotions and oohs and ahs. Like, we don't do that. And so I always wanted to experience love and affection in that way. I always wanted to feel like what does it feel like to be genuinely hugged? I didn't know what that felt like. Maybe as a baby, I don't remember, but growing up, like, we didn't hug, we didn't tell each other that we loved each other. It was more like, okay, you're family, so we love you. Like, that was how it was implied. And so I've always wanted to feel like I belonged. And that's a whole nother story about how I just went looking for love in all the wrong places, got myself into some trouble, how I didn't get pregnant, thank God. But I went around looking for love in all the wrong places in search of just belonging and affection. So that's one aspect of the love thing. The other half of the love thing was I did not, I always dreamed of getting married, of course. But then my only requirement in a man was for him to be the exact opposite of my father. I had one requirement. That was my list, y'all. One item on my list. I needed a man that was the exact opposite of my daddy. And believe you me, I married him. I married that guy who's the exact opposite of my daddy. But so that was a part of the dream. The house, just feeling loved and having the kind of love that I didn't get from my father. And then another part of my dream was just being assertive, outspoken, and confident because I grew up ridiculously shy. I was never allowed to express myself. I think a part of that was the fact that in my family, we really didn't express our emotions very well. So I wasn't sure how to express my emotions around people. And because of that, I kept a lot in, even to this very day. That is something that I still struggle with, just expressing myself. Yes, I know I love talk. I do love talking. But when it comes down to emotional stuff, I tend to hold things in before I let them go. And that's something that I am constantly working on, even to this very day. So just being assertive and confident and wanting to be able to stand in front of a crowd and not tremble and sweat and get nervous and voice shaky. That was also a part of the dream. Let me see. Melissa is asking, are you a hugger now? Because sometimes those traits spill over into our adult years. I wouldn't say I'm a hugger. 50-50. I'm not a hugger type person, but I won't hesitate to hug you if I feel the need to. And if I'm getting a hug, of course I'm going to take it. I want to take it. So yeah, like hugging is just a normal and natural part of my life now. It doesn't feel weird to me. Like before, it used to feel weird. When someone was coming up to me to hug me, it felt unnatural simply because I wasn't used to it. And so I didn't have the confidence, going back to confidence again, to even stretch my hands out to give a hug back. Like I have so many issues that I've had to unpack in my adult years. Yeah, trust me. So that was a part of the dream. The other part of the dream was just being able to have fun, right? I just wanted to have fun. I grew up in a very sheltered Christian home. And because of that, there was no fun in my life. We didn't go to school parties. My cousin snuck me away to one party, maybe when I was in my early teens, and that was a big shebang in my home. Like it was a big deal. I wasn't allowed to talk to boys. There was no fun event that I can recall. Maybe I may have gone to a few, maybe three maximum three school parties. One I think I remember in primary school, and probably two in high school, and it was like pulling teeth to get my mom to give me permission to actually go to those events. So yeah, whole nother story. But so I didn't really have fun. It was school, church, home, school, church, home, school, church, home. That was my life. On the weekends, when I was younger, I would help mom. We would walk around the community and sell seasoning. You know, those little teeny weeny plastic bags with seasoning. We sell black pepper, paprika, curry, all kind of things. So that was my Saturdays. When I got older, when she stopped doing that, I was always helping mommy sell something because that was the way we would earn an income outside of her salary as a helper, as a household helper. And this is where I get my farming skills from. I love to garden today. And this is all because of my mom, because my mom is always growing stuff. So for as long as I can remember, she's selling pumpkin. Up to today, mommy is still growing and selling pumpkin. So we would help her cut the pumpkin, weigh them out, carry them around the community, sell them. Whatever grew in our yard, breadfruit, mango, it doesn't matter. Saturday was selling day. So we didn't go to market, but we would walk around the community and sell stuff from our home. So my Saturdays was work. And then Sunday was church and preparing for school on Monday again. That was pretty much it. So fun was never a part of my life, really. I didn't have any fun. The most fun I had was watching TV and seeing all the fun that the characters were having. So that was also a part of the dream. One part of my dream that I still am yet to fulfill is to be able to travel the world. That is always going to be on my list until it is done. And so those are the main things that I can remember about what my dream life looked like when I was a teenager. These were the things that I was sitting and thinking and dreaming about and wishing and hoping that they would happen. Having my own home that was comfortable, finding love, just having friends. And did I mention friends? Yeah, real friends. I didn't really have any friends, to be honest, because I wasn't able to talk to anybody. Like, especially boys, hell no. I would get boxed down if I dare said one word to a boy. Right? I had a little relationship, sort of, kind of thing, and it was well hidden. A few of my friends at school knew, and that was pretty much it. So I didn't have many friends. I didn't feel the love that I wanted, that I felt like I needed. I needed a comfortable home. I needed to just improve my confidence and my assertiveness. I wanted to have fun, and I wanted to travel the world. That was my my short list of dreams when I was growing up. Shelly is saying sucks for my mom. That's what that's what she sold on the side. Yeah, trust me. Anything we grew went out for sale on Saturday. That was it. And so once I left home at 16 and ended up in Mandeville, going to college, NCU in Mandeville, I was on a path to really discovering the world. I was learning about the world. I was exploring. I was meeting new people, walking on NCU campus, and people were just hugging you for no reason. People just get up and hug you just because the sun came up. And that felt so weird. But I eventually got used to it. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is what life outside of my little shell feels like and looks like. And I was like, I like this. I like this. And I wanted more. And so I remember the first summer that I went home after going to NCU and living in Mandeville for an entire year. I cried the entire summer because I just wanted to go back to school. I had been living in my home for 16 years. And I know what that experience was like. And then I went to NCU outside of the covering of my family and everybody that I grew up with. And I liked that experience so much more that I didn't want to leave. And to this day, a lot of my growth and development, a lot of my closest friends are from that period in my life while I was living in Mandeville. That is when I got to know the world. So let's talk about this whole partnership that I want to share with you, because that started in Mandeville too. So I'm going to share with you for the next maybe 10-15 minutes about the partnership that enabled me to those long list of things that I shared with you earlier. I keep saying long list, that short list of things that I shared with you earlier, how I was able to create a partnership that enabled me literally realize those dreams. Let me see the comments that are popping through. I can resonate with most of your experience, not to mention the sports day and fear. I could not go. Oh my goodness. But I got permission to go to sports day. Sports day was fine for some reason, but fair day, like with the parties and the dance and the music, no, because that was, in Jamaican terms, Jama song. And Christians, we don't do Jama. Jama is what I know to be reggae, right? I don't know if you know the term Jama. Oh my gosh, I feel so old talking about Jama song. But yeah, that was what the reggae was called back in the day, Jama song. So we weren't allowed to listen to Jama song, and because Jama song was going to be played at Fear, you can't go to Fear because you're Christian, right? So none of that happened. But when I was 16 years old, I moved to Mandeville to go to college. And I remember meeting some new friends that very, very first semester who invited me to church. Melissa, you it sound like you know about Jama song, you know. Melissa sound like you know about Jama song. But that very first semester, I met some new people. They invited me to church. And I ended up staying at that church for the entire time I was in Mandeville because it was so different from the church that I'm accustomed to. Like, there was so much love in the air, people cared for you, people look out for you. And it was just a nurturing environment. So if you're in Mandeville, you want to check out First Assembly of God on the road, right in the heart of Mandeville. Not really in the heart, on the outskirts of Mandeville. That's where I met Shelly. I see Shelly in the comments. That's where I met Shelly. Yes, First Assembly of God. To this day, the pastor and I've been away from Mandeville for like almost 14 years. And up to 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, we were there looking for my pastor, his wife, and the kids. And it was just all love. It's just all love. Like, I found love in that church, put it that way. Um, and so a few friends invited me to church, and I eventually became a part of the Youth for Christ movement as well through the friends that I connected with there. And I remember one Saturday night, we were going. Where were we going? I don't remember where we were going, but we had a friend who had a taxi, and he would just take us everywhere. Like, yeah. So we were all just bunched up in the taxi, and this is Mandeville. I'm used to the weather in Mandeville because Mandeville is colder than everywhere else in Jamaica. So this is a really cold Saturday night, and I believe it was in maybe January, February there. So it was the winter months, super cold. So we leave out in the evening. Sun was hot. We head to this place. We're heading back home, and I'm freezing. I'm sitting in the car. I'm freezing. I'm literally trembling. And this dude sat beside me, and he handed me his sweater. He handed me his sweater. I gave it to me, and I'm like, okay, thanks, but aren't you cold? And he said, no, man, just keep it. So I wrapped up with the sweater, kept warm. And I think I gave it back maybe a few days later. And that was the day I fell in love with my husband. And it was weird because no male had ever been that kind to me before. I grew up in a very rough environment where guys were smoking spliff. The men who were walking past the road were psting after you, saying all kind of derogatory words about your body parts, especially your breasts and your bottom. And that is what I am used to. So it's like when this guy gave me his sweater, no strings attached, and said, you can have it, just keep yourself warm. And he just did it like it was so natural. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Hey, dude. But I didn't say it. I didn't say it. I was going to say it. And from that very first gesture, I liked the man. I didn't say anything. I was too darn shy to say anything. I just said thank you, and that was it. I never stopped thinking about that dude from that day. Years had passed. And we've been back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, trying to figure out whether or not we're going to go out with each other or not. And I remember, like, one day he gave me an ultimatum and said, listen, this is it. This is it. If you tell me no one more time, I'll leave you alone forever. And I got nervous. I got nervous because I'm like, I really like this guy. Why is it so hard for me to tell him I like him too? And I now realize that stemmed from just me not knowing how to express myself truly and freely because of all the shelters of growing up in an environment where people are telling you every day, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. You don't have a say. You're just a child. You don't know nothing. Keep quiet. Let the adults speak. Like that was the kind of environment. And looking back now, I realized that that was what was happening to me. I didn't know how to tell him that I liked him as well. And it was the ultimatum that really, really drew me up. And I eventually said yes. When I finally said yes, less than a year later, we were married. It was that quick, because we both had feelings for each other for years, and neither of us advanced. Like, we're back and forth trying to figure out, do we do this thing, do we not do this thing? And then we got married 7 months later. I believe 7 months later. That partnership is the best partnership that I have had in all my life. Of all the people that I have met, and of all the things that I've been able to accomplish, my partnership with my husband is the one that has allowed me to flourish the most and allowed me to be able to realize my dreams. Let me tell you why this is so significant. And I'm just grateful that God sent him my way, because I don't know if I knew what I was doing, but I knew that when he asked me to marry him, I felt just a peace. I felt just a deep, sincere peace in my heart. And I knew, I cannot explain it, but I knew I was doing the right thing. And after I said yes, there was a whole lot of speculations, because nobody even knew we were dating. Like, we barely dated. We've been friends for years prior, like 4 years before. Like, we've been when I say close friends, I mean, he was one of the guys that was really close with. So people saw us as friends. We were always friends. I knew his parents, I knew his family, he knew a bit about mine. We would go to each other's house, we'd hang out together as friends. So we were already close friends. So by the time people found out that we were engaged, there was a whole lot of stories going on. You know, church gossip go. She must be pregnant. What is going on? How did this happen? They don't understand it. Yeah, because everybody wanted Julia to marry a pastor. I'm not that kind of girl. I'm not the pastor's wife type, I promise you. And so when we eventually got married, and we moved to Kingston, we started to really get to know each other. And I realized that we were from similar backgrounds, with similar dreams, similar goals, similar desires. And we were both moving in the same direction. And this is critical. This is so critical, especially for those of you who are looking to find a partner who you're going to be with for the rest of your life. It is critical that you both are moving in the same direction. Mentally, physically, spiritual, every kind of alley. Because this is going to make your life so much easier. My husband and I, we agree on so many things. And making decisions in my house is easy because of that. Choosing to thrive over other things is easy because our minds are in the same place. And this is very important, because I've seen relationships around me. I've seen people's progress derail simply because their partner is not in agreement. I've seen people's progress just being held back and being set back for years simply because their partner is not in agreement. I've had friends who've had to hide from their partners and do certain things because they're not on the same level when it comes on to growth and development and thriving and building wealth and walking in purpose. And I credit this partnership that I have today, this 14-year partnership, for a lot of the progress and development. And we talk about this every now and again. Like, honestly, I don't know where I would be without him. Because looking around, I do not see anybody else in my environment that would have helped me to progress the way I have. I don't see anybody else who I would sync with, and we are able to support each other the way we have done over the past 14 years. I don't see one person. And so, again, I have to emphasize it's very critical that you partner with an individual who is moving in the same direction as you are. One of the things that we decided from early is that we'd never die poor. That was something that we knew from early on, that we'd never die poor. We both grew up poor. We both grew up in abusive homes. We have so many similarities, not funny. But we decided, I think from as far back as 2008, when we just got married, we moved into this little apartment. I shared with you the actual size of the apartment last week. It could barely hold two of us. Much less, like bed, table, clothes over the table, a 2-burner stove, and a little dresser, and this much walking space. You had to turn sideways to walk. And we saw ourselves in that situation, and we made a decision right then and there that this is not gonna be forever. There's no way we're gonna die in this situation. So we started out from early trying to understand how to become better versions of ourselves, how to realize the dream of owning the home, having the kind of love relationship that we've always wanted, having the kinds of friends. And we've deliberately and actively sought out friends who help to nourish us, and we nourish them. We've deliberately been working on working on ourselves individually, and then working on us together as a unit. We've been deliberate about scheduling fun time. We still both have dreams of traveling even in the midst of COVID. So those dreams that I had at 16 years old became a reality because of the partnership, the 14-year partnership with this man that I married. He had his dreams, I had my dreams. We put our heads together, we put our resources together, we put our money together, and we decide that these dreams that we have are going to become a reality. And so the 16-year-old Julia that was dreaming about the house, that's the house I'm living in right now. The 16-year-old Julia who was looking for love in all the wrong places, found love, have been in love for 14 plus years. And last year, and this is something that gives me goosebumps when I think about it, last year, for the first time ever, my family and I'm getting emotional, guys. For the first time ever, my family and we sat down and we just talked things out. And we've grown. When I say my family, I'm talking about my first family, like my mother, my aunties, my cousin. We just sat down and talked through all the issues that we've been living with for decades. And not everybody was a part of the conversation, unfortunately. But it was something that I was led to do. I was praying one morning, and the Lord gave me strict instructions. And I sent out a WhatsApp message to everybody. I say, whose number I don't have, pass it on to them. We're going to fix this family. And I remember the first day we met, I'm getting chills, guys. The first day that we met, I said, listen, guys, I don't know where this is going. I really don't know where this is going. But the Lord gave me instructions, and that's all I'm doing. I'm following instructions. And in following those instructions, we've had some life-changing moments in my family. People have cried. Confessions have been made. I learned things about my mother that I did not know. And then I started to understand why she did certain things when I was a child. So even those parties that she wouldn't allow me to go to, even the boys that she didn't want me to talk to, her being so super strict, I was able to understand why all of that was important to her. And so the love that I was looking for, I found it in my husband, but the love that I was missing in my family, we were finally able to release it last year, just last year. So, oh my God, it feels so good. And so today, like, I'm able to relate to my cousins and my aunties on a much deeper level, on a much closer level, on a more connected level than I ever had in my entire life. So that dream that 16-year-old Julia had of finding love, I found it in my husband, and I finally found it in my family. That dream that Julia had of just being more confident and assertive, that is something that took me 10 years to develop. And you see me come on video today. Like, I love coming on video, guys. I really do. I enjoy showing up on camera. I don't know why. I just love it. But this took me 10 years to be able to just confidently turn on the camera and start talking. It took me 10 years to get here. So when I talk about my husband working on himself, me working on me, and then us working on us together, that was also a part of the process. Just working on the confidence. And he would just like all the time tell me how proud he is of me of reaching certain milestones and so on. And fun was another dream that 16-year-old Julia had, of just enjoying life and having fun. That is something that we are deliberate about scheduling. As a matter of fact, we go off on our funcation this week. So like just being able to see the dreams that 16-year-old Julia had, and all but one of them coming true, is a big deal for me. Is a big deal for me. And that happened out of just consistently and persistently pursuing the life of my dreams. So here's what I want to share with you as we close. I'm coming to those comments, Melissa. Here's what I want to share with you as we close. First of all, your dreams are your dreams. They're unique to you. I started off talking about the private jet and the nanny and the sparkling clean home. Like, it's okay to dream that way. But what are the dreams, the more realistic dreams that are at the forefront of your mind for you? Like, what are those dreams? Those are the dreams that you need to work toward. Stop thinking about those real luxurious things right now and get the more, I don't want to say minor because they're really major. Let me just use the word realistic. Let's see you make those realistic dreams come true first. And once those come true, you add other bigger dreams to your list. So like I said, the dreams that 16-year-old Julia had have come true. And that's why I boldly and confidently say I am living my dream life. Because a lot of things that I am experiencing right now, like it seemed impossible then, but living through it right now, it just gives me just pure joy. But even though I am living my dream life right now, there are still other dreams that I've added to that list that are yet to be accomplished. So put it this way, I'm constantly dreaming and dreaming bigger and bigger every time. And with that comes the persistence to ensure that those dreams become a reality. So even if it takes you 10 years to build your confidence like it took me, don't give up. Even if you had to go around the world and look for love in all around places until the nice, good, clean, tall, and handsome guy drop in your lap, don't give up. Because the day you give up is the day you've lost. You've lost that dream. Keep believing in your dream. Keep going after your dream. Keep working hard, persistently, at making sure that whatever dreams you had a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, they're still at the forefront of your mind and you're still able to put in the work to ensure that those dreams come true. If you don't have a partner like mine that supports you, like, you can still make it on your own, right? I know it might be more difficult. It might be harder because today I have a husband and I have two accountability partners that keep me in check. So like that makes life a lot easier. But if you don't have anybody, it doesn't mean that you're gonna give up. You're gonna do what you can with the resources, with the lack of support that you have in the moment. And as you see progress, as you begin to thrive, do the best you can to achieve more. Don't blame yourself and say, oh, if only I had a husband. Oh, if only I had a bestie. Oh, if only I had a girl squad, or squad goals is the hashtag. Don't look at that. Do what you can with what you have right now and celebrate the little progress that you make in realizing your dreams. All right, I'm gonna sip some water and jump and look at the comments. Alyssa is saying her family needs that. Oh, girl, let me tell you, that process was such a healing process for all of us. It was healing is the word. Healing is the word. And teenagers were there. My generation was there. My aunties and uncles' generation were there, which is like 30 years older than us. 60 odd year old connecting with the what the youngest person was, what, maybe 15. Yeah, about 15, probably somewhere there. So between 50 and 60 plus year old, a group of maybe how many of us? It was like 20 of us, I think. But my family is big. So 20 is not a lot. I have lots of cousins. So 20 of us is a little bit. But that 20, I think that 20 was the 20 that needed to be there. Put it that way. And trust me, we healed. We went through about 3 months, 3 whole months together, just meeting once a week, every week, and just looking at other issues that were related to us as a family and just talking through them. And we get to understand each other's perspective. Like there were 3 generations in the room, 4 generations in the room. And we're able to understand like why the older generation did things this way. And then we were like, okay, we ain't going to do this that way. This is how we're going to change it. And they were able to appreciate our approach and how we looked at things differently and the things that we were passing on to our kids. So it was just an amazing experience. Healing is the word I can use for it, I promise you. Lord has to speak to someone because some of the hurts are so tough. And the thing is, as you mentioned that, like I said, the few of us that were in that conversation was not my entire family. It was not my entire family. I personally knew that some people would not show up just because this thing was initiated by me. And that's just the way it is. Some people, oh, is Julia doing this thing? I ain't going. That's just the way it is. And I knew that there are some people who are not going to show up. And I accepted the fact that they did not show up. You cannot help everybody. You cannot change everybody. Everybody will not be open. Everybody will not be ready. So whoever is open, whoever is ready to change and to really go through the process of connecting deeper with each other, those are the people you work with. And you just, how do I describe this? You work with those individuals and hopefully, right, the others will see the results and gravitate towards it. Yeah, that's how I put it. Because even right now, there's a family group and there's a little WhatsApp group that I created. And in that group, you find people sharing things in this little teeny weeny group that they would never share in the bigger family group. That's the level of closeness, the level of connection we've developed in just that short period of time. I'm grateful for it. And it was always a part of my dream. That was a big part of my dream, because I've always seen other people in their families, they're lovey-dovey and they're huggy-huggy. And, but, and like, I see the way my kids treat each other. They love them one another. Bad, 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 bad. Like, my son looks out for my daughter, and they both look out for each other, even though they're 5 years apart. Like, they love each other so much. And I've never had that with my family. I've never had that kind of connection with my own brother. And just to be able to see that changing in my family, it's always been a dream. And I'm just super grateful that God chose me. Like, I feel so privileged to initiate that transformation in my family. So like today, when we tell each other, I love you, because it doesn't feel weird. It does not feel weird. Oh, it really doesn't. If I call up one of my cousins and say, hey, what's going on? Or like, I have my cousins reaching out to me, asking for help with certain things. Like, we would never have that conversation a year ago. We would have never been having, we just know, oh, you're my cousin. Yeah, man, what's up? All right, good. All right, bye. That was the relationship. Today, it's a lot different. It's a lot deeper. And I'm grateful for that. That was a big part of my dream. Big part of my dream. And through my journey, God used my journey, my experience, and my story to influence and empower them. Josephine, this is an old juice bottle that we've turned into a water bottle. She's asking me how my water bottle look like that. That's just like, we reuse things in our home, honey. So like, even like whenever we buy sauces and stuff at the store, we keep those bottles, we store all kinds of things in them. So yeah, this is in my cupboard as a drinking glass. All right, so we've gone a little bit. Hi, Chanel. What's your Nadra? Is this Nadra? I think that it is. Hi. We'll continue the conversation next week. I encourage you to invite somebody over, so you can learn from my experience, learn from my journey. I have a really stuff that I want to share with you, and these are just extensions of what we talked about today, and just the various lessons that we can learn from them. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to share, and I think there's so many lessons of empowerment and encouragement and just transformation that you can receive through my experience. And so for the next few weeks, however long this turns out to be, I'm going to be sharing tips of it with you. So if you know somebody who this can help, Monday night at 7 p.m., Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, we're going to be live. So this was a little bit longer than I expected. Like, we've been on for 50 minutes, almost 50 minutes. But I thank you for just coming on and connecting with me in the chat. For those of you who want to work with me more to really help to transform your life, you can send me a direct message and we'll set up a 1 hour with you, and I do more specific strategies that you can use and apply to your own life in order to transform, in order to thrive, and in order to really begin to live your dream life. So that's it for this live. Thank you guys for coming and sticking with me, and I'll see you next week, same time, same place. Not same place, I'll be on vacay having some fun, but I'll definitely be on live. Let's see if mommy will come on and share with you. You never know. If I can drag mommy into the lives, I will, because I'll be with her next week as well. But all the best, have a blessed week, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye, Shelly.